All right, y'all. What's good, man? It's your boy. Give it up 100. I'm back on the scene, back doing my thing. All right. Shout out to my boy, keyboard musician, the channel that single-handedly inspired me to have a channel myself. So that's my boy. So shout out to keyboard musician. All right. Y'all see Assan Campbell's numbers declining and declining and declining, right? Now, this is valid. This is relevant for me to speak to because he loves to speak about his numbers. So this is like, in a sense, somewhat of a counteraction or a response to him talking about his numbers all the time. Now, the reason, first of all, the fish tank in the background, excuse me, I'm right next to my fish tank. But the reason why you see Hassan declining as he is largely because of people like me. These damn videos, these hours of pulling out the things that he said to contradict him in these videos, I have a lot to do with that. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason, another reason why Hassan is declining. He's declining because it's a thing called being repetitive. Regardless of how black people loves drama and garbage, if you're too repetitive at it, you're going to get a slight, portion of people to tune in, but the large majority of it, or just some of that portion of people that was there, is going to start falling off because they get tired of the same shit. You're feeding people the same shit all the time, every day, all day, every day. You know what I mean? Your temperament is the same shit. It's like you wake up out of bed feeling the same exact way every day. That shit is crazy. So people get tired of that shit. So a lot of people are falling off because of that, just simply because he's so repetitive. Now, the fact that Hassan does what a lot of other people, because I know somebody gonna hit my comment and say, well, everybody do this, everybody do that, everybody do the same shit. Facts. But some people with personality is able to last a little bit longer. And that is another reason why Hassan is still out here, because of his personality. Because he's not just giving you breaking news or headline news, and he's coming from an intellectual type of perspective. He's not intellectual at all, obviously. He's just giving it to you with a certain New York personality, certain Bronx personality that a lot of y'all niggas, fuck with and find interest in. So of course, whatever he talks about, somewhat of his fan base going to tune in. That's another reason, his personality. I even made a video about 10 Toes Down, saying that 10 Toes Down stole Assan Campbell's personality. Now, Hassan swears everybody steals his shit. He said Charleston White stole his entire shit, and that's the reason why. And the Charleston White, I'm going to talk about him in a second, because he's made it to the place where Assan Campbell's never going to make it to, and that is the top of social media, right? He's made super viral. He's getting on these platforms that get millions of subscribers and millions of views. So he's made it to a place where Hassan would never make it at. Now, granted, Hassan did make it on Vlad TV, but he's never going to make it on some of these other dudes' platform, because these dudes know Assan Campbell is an absolute bozo. Regardless of the numbers that they might get, they know he's not worthy of an interview. And he's going to, backbite you after the interview. And niggas don't want that. Niggas already peep his style. People already know what Hassan is totally about. So they're not going to waste the time. They're not going to waste the platform on him. Vlad did that because Vlad is a crab at the bottom of the ocean. A bottom feeder that is going to get the little 100,000 views of Hassan to keep it moving. He would never interview Assan Campbell again, because Hassan had to almost die to get that interview. How pathetic is that? How pathetic is that? Hassan been out here since 2016 talking about Africa Bambaataa sexually molested him as a kid. Vlad and all the other platforms did not give a shit. But Hassan pops up in a video where he's cussing out the projects, and further on he got shot. Now Vlad want to call him up there, and Hassan himself has no problem going up there because of that reason. This is the type of individual he is. Now, let's not forget, this is also the individual that did nothing but piss and vomit and shit all over Vlad's name for years. Not months, not days, years. Talking about how much of a fucking vulture he is, invader, all of that into black culture. Which in all reality, Vlad knows about hip hop culture more than 99, if not 100% of everybody that criticize him. He knows his shit. Anyway, it's not about that. But Hassan accepted the invitation with open arms, with a big smile on his face, happy as can be, happy as, a little kid running inside Toys R Us or some shit like that. He was over the moon happy off of from doing an interview with somebody that he's did nothing but shit on for years, and trying to even defame his name and his character, which is Vlad TV. But back to this, Hassan. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about Charleston White for a second. Charleston White, congratulations. Like I just said, you've made it to the top of the social media world, but the only reason you've made it there is nothing special. You didn't make it there because you have a brain. You didn't make it there because you're intellectually sound or you articulate, yourself on such a level. It's not that. Anybody can articulate any fucking thing they want to say. He articulates ratchet behavior, ratchet thinking, and a ratchet psychology. This is what he does. And the fucking black race or whoever the fuck supports Charleston White, this is what you love to eat up. You love to eat up ratchet garbage, ratchet fucking trash. So this is the reason why Charleston White gets people to tune in, and the more people tuning in is the higher you're gonna go up, because that's numbers, and numbers means validity on this fucking thing called internet. So you've made it to a certain point. Like niggas like me can't make it to it because I'm not. First of all, I don't think like that. I don't think the way Charleston White think. Charleston White be on these platforms saying everything and anything. No surprise. That is exactly how you make it to the top. No pride, no lines, no limits, no none of that. Sell your race out, sell yourself out. Charleston White said on record that he doesn't give a fuck about the black race. He doesn't give a fuck about black people. He said that. Not out of frustration of trying to help the black community and it's not working. Not that. He just literally just spoke from his heart. I don't give a fuck about niggas. I don't give a fuck about the black community. I don't know if I'm, verbating it exactly. That's what he said, but it was on those lines. And y'all remember, y'all heard that, y'all fucking stuff. Y'all know that. Y'all know he said that shit over and over again. So making it to the top doesn't mean anything on the internet, because you have to sell your race out, sell yourself out, sell God out, have no morals, have no principles, none of that. None of that. If you have any of that, you're not going to make it to the top. Now, off Charleston White. Gene Deal, bro. Gene Deal, my nigga. Bruh. Is it possible to do an interview and leave Puffy's name out of your mouth, Tupac name out of your mouth, or B.I.G.'s name out of your mouth? Is that possible? It's not possible, right? It's not possible, because all of the 5,000 interviews and every time we've seen you on camera, if these three niggas' names don't get brought up, there's nothing else that they can possibly, there's nothing else you could possibly talk about. There's nothing else these interviewers can possibly ask you, because these niggas are everything about you. Biggie and Puff is everything to Gene Deal. That's his whole existence. You take those dudes out of his existence, he doesn't exist himself. So you have to keep bringing up stories about Puff, bringing up stories about Big, and it's not the most flattering stories at all, especially about Puff. See, now I'm not here to say the greatest things about Puff Daddy, because obviously I don't know him. I've never seen him, never been around him. But for somebody that was around him for so long, you played bodyguard to Puff Daddy for so long, you've been a part of all of the tours, concerts, studios, sessions, all of that. So he knows all this intricate shit about Puff. He knows stories. He told niggas that, remember that interview he did saying that Puffy and Ja Rule was in some hotel room with some broads, and they were ass naked, butt naked up in there while he was at the door. And then he told us the story about the time when Puff went to the store and Puff was trying to buy like dildos or sex toys or whatever like that, or whatever. He trying to make it seem like, oh, he was trying to intervene and see why Puff needed all that. At the end of the day, nigga, you're getting paid to shut the fuck up and bodyguard Puff. You couldn't release none of that information. Well, you could have released yourself from being his bodyguard. You could have left Puff and say, well, this nigga is foul. I can't bodyguard for a nigga like that. I'm out. You didn't. You swallowed and accepted everything he did. And right when he got done with you and threw you away like the trash you are, Gene Deal, now you want to be out here doing what girls do. Every time we see you, you're on the internet defaming the hell out of Puff. What life you got? Y'all, anybody got a problem with me saying this shit? Ask yourself one question. What do you know about Gene Deal? Besides that he was Puffy's bodyguard. Absolutely nothing, unless you grew up with him. He doesn't even talk about himself. He only talks about Puff, Big, and Pac. That's pathetic. All right, off of him, done with him.